Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Winds of Tilly. This time it's going to be Woodland State Airport out in Washington. It's W27. 1950 by 25 feet. Good asphalt. That is a pretty narrow runway. This is one of those staple airports out here in this area for people to land at because it's a little bit more challenging. As you see here in this video, as you approach it, there is sort of a U-shaped, horseshoe-shaped water feature, and the airport is basically on the other side. On the other side of the highway, it's a little bit hard to detect initially, but if you find that U-shape, then you're looking right at it, the airport. The runway is in also a little bit of a cove, so the winds shift a little bit. I've noticed. I've landed there a couple of times and I've noticed that they shift. Here we are landing to the north, so obviously the opposite direction is going to be a completely different approach, but this is the more interesting one. There's two ways to go about it. I've gone over the trees that you see in front of us, but you'll have to come in a little steep, or you can do this dog leg, which will bring you across the highway, over the bridge, and then you can come down. There is a bit of a lead to the runway. That's a grass area. There is where I notice sometimes a little bit of a shift of wind because of the natural features around the area. So a relatively standard approach here in this direction. If you don't come over the trees, otherwise you'll have to be a little steeper. And you can aim for the numbers. And it is 1900 feet. It's not extremely short. It is narrow, but it isn't hard to reach and stay within the runway, as you see right there. We didn't struggle. Again, Moose and I flying that day, and she got a little bit disappointed again because we just turned around and we took off again. We let it roll as usual. I am an advocate of trying not to use too much braking if not needed. So we rolled all the way to the end and made our turn. The runway we landed in was runway 32, if you hadn't noticed on approach. Coming on the opposite direction, this other runway here, the runway 14, brings you over the water treatment area at the end, as you see over there in front of us right now. It's a different approach. I've had to land in that direction once. It's about the same. I think that the more interesting way to come in is on runway 32. And turn around, do your back taxi. Very limited parking in this airport. There is going to be to the right at the end here. There are some spots that are right off of that little asphalted area. The longer term parking, as you saw, there's a couple of airplanes that were parked to the left side over there with some tie down. No other facilities at all, no hangars, no fuel, nothing. But it is a neat little airport to visit. A little bit of a challenge for pilots, not a huge challenge, but just challenge enough. All right, we lined up. We took off, a fairly standard takeoff. No reason to make any kind of short field takeoff for me, at least on this airplane, because 1900 feet is plenty. And we climb relatively fast, and then we make a left turn to a left downwind departure as we departed out to the south. This is departure to the north. Runway is narrow again. You have plenty of room to accelerate. The town is over in front of and to the left and to the right, so be considerate of the people. I made my turn, but by the time I made my turn, I was already about 500 or 600 feet above, and very, very quickly climbed to at least 1,000 feet. So I made a relatively quick climb off and avoided trying to stay too low over town. That's I-5 towards Seattle that you see, and then the Columbia River a little further out, right in front of us. There we go. I eventually departed to the left. There's the water feature again. Here's the wing view. The wing view gives you an idea. You can see the airport right there. It is a little bit harder to spot, but if you always look at this horseshoe lake, then that will put you right where you need to be. It's a quite a fun little approach. As on final, there are those trees, and it's on an angle. Go see it. It is very interesting. You have those two ways to go about it. Either do a little dog leg like I did, or you can come over the trees and then you'll come in a little steeper. We're descending. So there's water and a bridge. Interesting bridge to fly right over. And then there is the field. Like I said before, I have noticed before some small changes in winds right here, right before touchdown. I picked up some speed at times. I'm not sure if the terrain around it affects, but I have to believe that that's what it is. All right, here we are on the ground again, trying to keep the airplane light and roll. And I rolled all the way to the end. Again, not an enormous amount of parking. You'll probably see it as a turnaround where two airplanes are parked. One seems like a light sport. One is a Cherokee. There might be a few extra spots. I understand that there used to be a few hangars there, but there's no longer anything such. And then some parking for short term is going to be to the right of where we're turning. So if you follow the asphalted area, there is a small area where you can park straight ahead from where I am right now. We turn around. Moose getting antsy. She thought we were going to get out, run around, and she was disappointed. No big deal. We took a short flight from there to Goheen and stopped there, and she ran around then. But she's trying to let me know, hey, we're going to get out. We're going to get out. I love flying with Moose. She's a fun dog. All right. Big, long 1,900-foot taxi back. Line up on this narrow runway. Again, 25 foot. And we're rolling. The asphalt is in very, very good condition, I would say. Very smooth for a small airport like this that is not attended or anything. Get off the road. Everybody probably watching you on the road, and you start climbing out. And if you can't climb out as fast as I do, I would say just continue a little bit straight before you turn over the town, just to be respectful of the people that live there. And as I made my turn, like I said, I was at least 600-700 feet and climbing really fast. I think by the time I was turning on downwind, what would be the downwind, I was easily 1,000 feet above. So I gave myself plenty of time to get up there, and I also power back out of respect. I think it's kind of important. The least we annoy people, the more we're gonna be able to enjoy these airports. Well, this was Woodland in Washington. Another airport worth stopping and trying out. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.